Is Blue actually turning on Madam, or is Madam's deteriorating mental state causing her to destroy her most loyal relationship yet? What's good, y'all? She gets this Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV, and this is another All the Queensmen video. In this one, we're gonna talk about Blue and Madam because this has really been weighing heavy on my mind, thinking about their relationship as we approach this part 2 to season 4 of All the Queensmen. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my All the Queensmen content and conversations. And let's go ahead and get into it because I think that this circumstance has me more stressed than Madam actually being on trial. From Madam's point of view, with Blue hiding things and she never really hides things, I can totally see how she's questioning. But with Blue now going to therapy and being completely uncomfortable and trying to figure out how she actually heals and deals with everything that's coming to her while also still maintaining her position and doing her job, I get why she want to keep that close to the vest. It's just like a big misunderstanding, and I don't know if the next 8 episodes is going to get them to actually see where each other is coming from. But if Blue does walk away, is that betrayal or self-preservation? That's what we need to dive into today because this situation is way more complex than it appears on the surface. Let me start by establishing just how loyal Blue has been to Madam because we need to understand that the foundation of this relationship before we talk about it potentially cracking. Blue killed her own girlfriend. Do I gotta say it again? Blue killed Kat, someone that she loved deeply, to protect Madam. That wasn't a business decision. That wasn't about money or territory. That was Blue choosing Madam's safety over her own heart. And the weight of that decision, she's still carrying it. But that's not the only time, right? Blue has put her life on the line. Remember the junkyard situation when Blue went to retrieve Madam's money and got surrounded by those racist men? Blue went into that dangerous situation because Madam needed her to. And when things went sideways, she was ready to handle business even if it cost her everything. Episode after episode, we've watched Blue step into the line of fire for Madam. When there's violence to be handled, when there are bodies to move, when there are enemies to eliminate, Blue is right there. She and Tommy are the reason that Madam is still alive and unharmed today. They provide complete coverage, complete protection, and Blue has never hesitated to put herself between Madam and danger. This isn't just employee loyalty, this is like family loyalty. Blue chooses duty over personal happiness, protection over self-preservation, Madam's safety over her own peace. So when we talk about Blue potentially turning on Madam, we need to remember that she has already sacrificed quite a lot for this woman. But here's where things start to get complicated. For the first time that we've known Blue, she's keeping something significant from Madam. She's in therapy for her PTSD, the trauma from her military service, from killing Kat, and then the bomb blowing up most recently, and she's deliberately hiding it from Madam. Now, in any other relationship, seeking mental health treatment wouldn't be a betrayal. But in Madam's world, where loyalty means complete transparency, where secrets can get you killed, Blue's choice to keep this private is creating the first real crack in their foundation. And Madam senses it. In episode 8, we see Madam questioning Blue about what's going on with her, and Blue continues to deflect and hide the truth. Madam can tell that something is off, but instead of Blue being honest about needing help, she's maintaining the secret. The therapy itself is intense. We saw the archery session where Blue nearly turned her weapon on her therapist. The treatment is bringing up trauma, making her relive painful memories, and it's affecting her behavior in ways that Madam is picking up on. So now we have this situation where the most loyal person in Madam's circle is, for the first time, keeping secrets. And that's happening at the worst possible time. Because Madam is not in a good place mentally right now. She's off her psychiatric medicine, and Tommy made sure that Dr. Fong paid for not prescribing her any more pills. And we've seen Madam's multiple personalities before. Do we got to go back to season 1, episode 1? We know what happens when she's not medicated and when she starts making increasingly erratic decisions. She's taunting the concierge when she should be laying low. She's making risky moves when she's under FBI investigation. And most concerningly, she's becoming paranoid about the loyalty of the people around her. We've seen this pattern before. When Madam is under stress and off her medication, she starts turning on people. Remember how she handled Amp's situation when she discovered what she thought was his betrayal? When Madam feels threatened or suspects disloyalty, she doesn't ask questions first, she acts. So we have the most loyal person keeping her first major secret, and a leader who is becoming increasingly paranoid about loyalty. That is a dangerous combination. Now, before we go further, let's clear up something about what actual betrayal looks like in Madam's world, because Blue's situation to me is completely different. Look at Toni, Madam's own sister, who was an FBI informant and snitched on their father, forcing him into hiding. Or Trouble and Champ, who snitched on Rayshawn from jail without any real pressure. And speaking of Trouble, she's back in jail right now and could potentially rat on Madam because she's angry about the recent suspension. That all would be betrayal. Even Carla, when she tried to use the Black Rock Boys against Madam back in like season 2, trying to, take from her own sister. That is betrayal. And while we've seen the back and forth in reference to their conflict until their father finally forced them to stop fighting. Those are all betrayals. People actively working against Madam's interests for their own benefit or out of spite. But Blue seeking therapy to deal with the trauma from serving Madam. Blue trying to heal from her psychological damage of killing someone she loved to protect Madam. That is not betrayal. That is someone trying to survive the cost of their loyalty. The difference is intent. Blue isn't trying to hurt Madam or undermine her operation. She's trying to process trauma so that she can continue to be effective. But because she's doing it in the secret, it's creating an appearance of betrayal when it's actually an attempt for self-preservation. If Blue does choose to walk away from Madam's organization, let's talk about what that actually would cost both of them. For Madam, losing Blue would be devastating on multiple levels. First, she's losing someone who genuinely loves her unconditionally. Blue's loyalty isn't based on money or fear or obligation. It's based on genuine care and respect. That's rare in Madam's world, and once it's gone, it's not replaceable. Second, Madam would be losing her most competent right-hand person. Blue handles the violent situations, the cleanup, the protection detail. She's been responsible for keeping Madam alive and unharmed through countless dangerous circumstances. Without Blue, Madam becomes physically vulnerable to many enemies' attacks in a way that she hasn't been since Blue joined her team. Think about it. Tommy provides security and support, but Blue and Tommy together create complete coverage for Madam. Take Blue out of the equation and there are gaps in protection that enemies could exploit. Madam's survival is dependent on Blue's willingness to step into danger, and without that, she's exposed. But for Blue, standing in this environment while trying to heal from trauma might be impossible. How do you process the psychological damage of killing someone you love while continuing to work for the person that required that sacrifice? How do you deal with PTSD while staying in a violent environment that triggers your trauma daily? Blue's therapist is helping her to understand sometimes the strongest thing you can do is recognize when a situation no longer serves your mental health. And if that is the conclusion Blue reaches, can we really call it betrayal? Here's what makes the situation particularly heartbreaking. Madam's paranoia about losing Blue might be exactly what causes her to lose Blue. Blue has proven her loyalty in the most extreme ways possible. She sacrificed love, safety, peace, mental health for Madam. But because she's finally trying to address the trauma that loyalty has cost her, Madam is starting to question her. If Madam responds to Blue's therapy secret with suspicion instead of support, she'll be pushing away the one person who's been genuinely loyal to her. She's been creating the very abandonment that she fears by not trusting someone who's already proven they die for her. And that would be a massive loss, not just for Madam personally, but strategically. In a world where everyone around her has ulterior motives, Blue represents something pure, loyalty without an agenda. Destroying that relationship over paranoia would be one of the biggest mistakes that Madam could make. So when we ask whether Blue is turning on Madam, I think we're asking the wrong question. The question is, should Blue choose herself, even if Madam sees it as betrayal? Blue has given everything to this relationship. She sacrificed her romantic life, her peace of mind, her mental health, the potential for her future. At what point does continued loyalty become self-destruction? If Blue's therapist tells her that staying in the environment is preventing her from healing, if continuing to work for Madam means never processing trauma, if remaining loyal means sacrificing any chance for mental wellness, then walking away isn't betrayal, it's survival. But I want to know, do you think that Blue has the right to choose her mental health over loyalty to Madam? Or do you think that after everything Madam has done for her, Blue owes it to stay regardless of the personal cost? And what about Madam? Is her suspicions justified given Blue's secrecy? Or is she letting paranoia destroy the most valuable relationship that she has? I want to know what you think so bad. I cannot wait to read your comments in the comment section down below. Ultimately, I think that this is not really about betrayal at all, but I think that we can definitely have the conversation. I think that this is about a woman who's given everything, finally asking if she has the right to choose herself, which is so dang powerful. And it's about whether someone who claims to care about Blue will support her healing or see it as abandonment. Again, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. It's your good sis, you let her talk TV with. I hope that you enjoyed this All the Queens Men video, and I'll see you in the next one.